Alright, welcome back to Newbie Farm, the 24-day season event. We're now in late autumn. I have fast forwarded right the way through, as you would have already noticed. And the soy is now ready. I had to wait until quite late on in the day because it was damp, and we've got more rain on the way, and I'm just going to slow this down. I'm going to take this down to a second, and we will shove it onto cruise control so I don't have to keep your foot on the throttle all the time. And it should be going a bit quicker than that. Of course, this also measures throughput. The higher the throughput, the slower it will run, and we're now running at about 10 ton and a half throughput, which is quite hard work for this particular combine, but we're in no great hurry. And I'm looking at, we need to get this done, or most of this done today before the rain comes again. I'm going to have to wait a couple of days for it to get ready again. Yeah, so saying, I have fast forwarded several days. It's just the animals to look after. All we've got now is this field to cut, wait till the winter and sell, and we will see how well or how badly we have done. We won't be like some of them on the 24-day. We won't be making a huge profit. And you might notice there's some straw in this next field. I had to tip the trailer off. I forgot I left some straw in there and I had nowhere to put it, so I just tipped it out in the field. It will rot away in time. In fact, thinking about it, I should have went and tipped it down in the hay store, store, of course. But there, I didn't think of that at the time. A bit late now. And we do a couple of headlands. Oh, it's finding this hard going in places on this field. But there we go, we're getting up to speed again now. I could try it in range 3 of CVT, but I don't think it will be any faster. Now here I cannot back and forth. This is hard up against the building, so it's just a case of forcing the thing around. It doesn't like that a lot. I think we'll have to just that's bad. I forgot this is one I have to use a gear stick on. No. I think we're there. Let's see what happens if we try it in this gear. Oh, it's a little bit quicker. Not a lot, no. It's in fact, whoops, I'm going to have to stop it first. We've tried and range 1. We'll find the right range for this eventually. Yes, it doesn't see that you get up to. We're now up to 10, yeah, it's got about 8-10 ton and a half, which isn't bad. I think we've got a good yield on this. Well, as I've been doing just recent times, this series has become just a sort of general chat and musings. And one of the things that has always amused me is some adverts. I don't think the copywriters actually realise what they said. There's one for a particular chocolate bar, which the strap line which is sung is only the flakiest, tastiest chocolate makes chocolate taste like it's never tasted before or something similar. Now it starts me thinking, I wonder what it actually tastes like then. Does it taste like cod and chips? No, just leave that to your imagination. Yeah, that's what. This is more realistic doing this. As soon as it starts getting full, or the combine starts getting full with the thrashing the grain, it slows down. But yeah, there's things like that which amuse me. That advert. I'm certain the copywriters didn't mean what I take it to mean. I'm a little bit repentant where words are concerned. I don't use them right myself, but I do notice whenever people. It's like there's so many people have this thing. It's quite unique. No, it's not. It's either unique or it isn't. It's one of those words which is or isn't. And I've become. What I really hate is the misuse of the word like, used as punctuation at every second or third word. Now I come from a part of the world, East Anglia, Norfolk, where we use like, or as we pronounce it, like. Often it's used as one of those main words for us, but even we don't manage to use it as often as it's used now. It seems that every generation has its own little word that gets misused. And the other one is obviously. Obviously, I was over the moon. No, it's not obvious to me. You might think it's obvious. I don't. Obviously, the general was thinking hard. Not obvious to me. It wasn't. That's just little things like that which amuse me. I'm not getting people to use that. It seems to be the inbuilt thing at the moment. As I say, this is just one that I just ramble on, and whatever comes to my mind I talk about them. Now I'm a great lover to comedy. Yeah, you may or may not realise that listening to me. You might probably think, no, he doesn't know a thing about comedy. He can't do not the way he goes on. Oh, and gone in. That's better. I was trying to find out where that 3 is. I'm trying to do this in cab. Oh yeah, we've done it. My word. Yeah, it's comedy. We all have our own tastes. That's my old grandpa used to say. We all have our likes and don't likes on things like comedy. I'm one of these people, and I must be a little bit odd. I don't find American humour very, very funny. Not to my ears. I also find quite a bit of the modern humour not terribly funny. It must be it's my age. But I love comedy of the absurd, and which was the first I ever heard was the Goon Show on the radio. And that's a show which would be very hard to put onto television. And remember, the Goons was about in the 50s, early 60s, mid to late 50s, early 60s. Written by who I consider one of the most talented comedy writers come comedians who's ever lived, and that was Spike Milligan. Everything he'd done was absurd. He looked at everything differently, and because the humour of the Goons was really taken on, how we doing on 65%, was really taken on television by the Monty Python team. Now that's humour I enjoy, but I also enjoy some other types of humour. I enjoy sitcoms, no, I'm fairly particular on that. I like sitcoms, but they mustn't be yet another middle class couple who really shouldn't have been together anyway, because they have nothing at all in common. Worrying about silly things like the private school they're sending their child to, whether that's good enough, and they're going to miss their child as he's gone to no, that doesn't tickle me at all. But what does is things like Steptoe and Son, for example. It's just little things they throw in there. You might gather on some of the things they say that I do like humour, and it isn't just. At my taste, are very Catholic on humour. On most humour, I love things like Heidi High or Dad's Army, one of the great comedy series of all times. Open All Eyes, Ronnie Barker. Ronnie Barker couldn't do a thing wrong in my eyes. He was a genius, but he hated ad-libbing. He always had to stick to the script. I remember Ronnie Barker, Ronnie Corbett in one interview, because the two Ronnies worked together for a lot of years on British television. And Ronnie Corbett was a comedian. Now Ronnie Barker was a comedy actor. There's a big difference. Now, Ronnie Corbett liked making people laugh, and he didn't like being on script a lot, and he used to throw Ronnie B quite often on the show, which is one of those sidelong looks you get on the two Ronnies when they're together, especially news reading it. It's not that scripted, it's just that Ronnie C has said something which was off script. Anyway, I think I've bored you all enough on my thoughts on comedy. So in short, I'm not that keen on most American comedy. I hate comedy which relies too on catchphrases. Ip Man was one of the worst comedies ever made during the war and just after, until Tommy Handley's death. But it relied 100% on catchphrases. Some get away with catchphrases. The radio comedy which was Beyond My Ken and then Around the Horn had a lot of catchphrases, but that didn't seem too bad. Also, because they were getting away with a hell of a lot which you wouldn't get away with now on there, even though you tried it hard to get away with on British radio. I think one was there. One was got the first load. As soon as start going up and down, I was gonna rush through and get everything done to the south of this one, but I think it don't look like we're finished this field. I want to carry on with this field, and mainly because I'm nowhere near ready getting the next map for making a series on. So to say we have a gap in the schedule, I've got to carry on with this one. Yeah, we're about 15 minutes in, so another 15 minutes we should be halfway through this field. And I just realised one thing I haven't done. I haven't put that up, so I'll leave that up at 30 times until this combine fills up, and I'll take it down to 15 times. I was doing some work on the map, as I do. If I'm doing it on the map, I don't have it flat out. Now I wonder if we can just turn here, or do I have to go backwards and forwards? Oh, look at that. We can turn. just about there now. Wait until it gets to 99 and I'm going to stop. Right. Stop there. Turn that off. Put it out of gear. Make sure the pipe goes out. There it is. And we get off and we're run back to the tractor. Run. At my age, my time of life, I ask you. And I brought this one out, and I'm going to now set that back to 15 times. And we should have made. I thought we were getting on better than we should have been. Oops, take it off. No, I'm using the track one because this hasn't done anywhere near as many R's as the wheeled one. You know. Thought I might as well get some R's on this one as well. And I think we're soon. I think we're already getting close to the R's before we got to service the wheeled one again. So I had a little thought to myself, and I thunk. That we use this one for this job. Come on, that's it. You've got to be in dead the right place for some reason, and that won't knock it out of gear, switch it off. We don't want that running all the time. We'll hop back in this, and we'll just keep an eye on how that's going. Now I do like the way that stuff runs through the bottom. You're not meant to look at that, so I draw your eyes to it, and that is actually normal for farming sim. Quite a few things run through the bottom of containers. Alright. There we go. I didn't realise I'd put eco on this. Well, I'm not going to bother to switch it out now. But eco saves a bit of fuel, the eco on the gearbox, but it's not. But it expenses some power. Actually, looking at the fuel is not a real concern, so I could take that off eco. I could, but I'm not going to. It looks like we get about 3 to 4. I think we just do 3 loads up from the combine into the trailer. I don't think I want to try and take up that hill with a full load. It's going to be fun come the winter when we come to sell. I think it's going to have to be the wheeled one that's got a bit more power, and it's quicker too. The track one has a little bit more grunt. One has more horsepower, and I think the track one must have a bit more torque to the engine. And because torque, as I think I mentioned before, is real power. Brake horsepower isn't, it's illusionary. Plenty of torque, and the vehicle will go through almost anything if you have enough torque, but it won't however much horsepower you've got. And I forget what they call torque now. It's Newton, is it Newton power, something like that, but I still know it's foot-pounds. if I talk about 100 foot-pound, I know it's fairly powerful at 100 foot-pound. If someone talks about 50 newtons or whatever it is, I have no idea what it means. Well, it's not just nuisance I can prove, so I can no longer equate to Fahrenheit. It was still Fahrenheit when I went to school, but taught myself centigrade, Celsius, or whatever you want to call it, and I'm never happy with that. It actually makes more sense to me that 0 is freezing and 100 is boiling. And there was a lot of measurements I am all over the place on. I still naturally think of miles an hour, and I think we're soon going to get some rain. We're not going to finish this off today. I think easier for metric is in weights, kilos and what have you, but if I'm thinking of body weight, I still think in stones. And no, I can't think of it in pounds, I can only think of it in stones. 14 stone 2 or whatever. How are we doing on time? Well, no, 8 minutes to go. I think we might just call it fairly soon, because that is going to rain. And I might have to then try and fast forward it through to the Friday on there. It's just going to be touch and go getting this one cut. I had to go from when the sun rose, which was dawn, about 7-8 o'clock to about 11 o'clock before the crop was dry enough to be able to harvest. Now we're going. I think this all proves that you're better off with seasons. Where possible, you're doing winter crops. You have more chance to harvest it. And because that was shown there, it's only 2 more days, which it looks like we're going to be able to harvest. So I might be trying to get this done in bits and pieces. I think we'll do one more lap, why not? Then we'll start coming up and down. It's a bit slightly quicker doing it like this, although not when you get to this corner here, but that's cleared itself out so it speeds up again. Oh, I think this is rain, go away. Come back another day. But yes, this is going to be a very wet autumn. Now, because I'm using the Wiles Geo on this, and it's meant to be wet in the autumn. It is a case of gathering crops whilst ye may. In fact, if we get a day there, we may have to work into the nights. I'm not certain what the lights are like on this. I know they're not very good on the tractor, which worries me a bit. Let's see if we can just fill this up. That's it, it's empty again, so we can go. That's the combine empty, nothing else. Did I put the... Oh, I left the pipe out. Oh, well, we'll leave it out now. Because in the early days they used to, because the pipe was had to be bolted into place. It might be swung out, but you then had to bolt it in place. And once you got the pipe out, you didn't have to keep going out on the platform, and this has probably got the same thing, out on that platform to swing it in and out. You do it for the first turn round if you had like we've got here trees on the edge of the field. But after that, you just leave the pipe where it is. I think we'll fill this up, then we'll go and empty out, and we'll call it quits for the day. In fact, what I think I want to do is do that. Now get back in here, get everything back again. Get rid of that. Well, we've got the thumbnail. Although I don't need one for this, but why is it this is about the only series I remember the thumbnail. This is the one series I don't use a thumbnail on. The answers on a postcard. Don't look for too dark of clouds at the moment. Yeah, I think this time we will start going up and down. I think we'll have to now. So I messed about enough going round and round. I could have got Jack on this, i.e. AI extension, doing all course, flyer course. I decided I'd do this lot myself. Some people seem to think they prefer the host or the YouTuber, Twitch type or whatever else, doing it all because they like watching the mistakes. Can't understand it. You get a lot more mistakes when I use automation. I never quite get it right. Now, what we got there, I think we go up to the end. What I want to do is Alright, I want to start my winding now. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please consider leaving a like. If you're not a subscriber, how about join this? We're all quite sane. Well, the other subscribers are quite sane. It's just me who's not quite so sane, but I'm harmless enough. If you've got any comments, questions, queries, suggestions or anything else, although suggestions on this series are a bit late now, it's almost at a close. I only got this to harvest, and I'm going to do a lot of fast forwarding again to winter to selling the grain, and that will then once the grain's sold, we'll have a little look round, see how much money we made. Not a lot, it is true. Well, I have made some money because I have had to bring some equipment in and stuff in which had to be paid for. Alright, so with that, it's as I'm gonna just I'll leave you here. I think we stop here. We'll actually stop here, and I'm not gonna just stop the no, we're going to go and get the tractor and trailer. We'll empty that off and take that back, and that will be an episode. And we'll have to come back and switch the combine off, but I can't switch it off, of course, until I've emptied it. I think we're going to drop down a ratio to medium or middle gears. Now this has got a nice gearbox. I like this gearbox. It's simple, even I understand it. 5 gears plus 3 ranges. Yeah, there's quite a bit to do here yet. We're going to be most of the autumn trying to get this one field done, I reckon. Because I don't think we had this weather, this type of weather when I was doing last. What I'm going to do is, if I don't rain by the time I tip this, I'll stay on this day and we will carry on next time from where we left off this. So you have been warned. Come on. I'm going to stay in here because I want to put the brake on. So I'm not going to tip this lot off. It's going to be half full anyway. And I want to see how well this thing pulls up the hill. Especially for, oh no, we have got an entrance straight ahead of us, I hope. Oh yeah, it's gonna be about half full. Where are we going? Right, that's there. And away we go. Now, we will be just crawling up, you can see now, only just accelerating. I think we might be in low range to up this hill. Yeah, we're not going to do it like that. We're going to drop it a gear and drop it a range. Here we go. This is slow going up here. And I'd rather, we try it in full, I'd rather go slow and get up here than a little bit quicker and not make it. Remember, I've only got roughly half a load on here. See what the sky looks like. Well, looks okay at the moment. Oh. I should have dropped that down before. Wheel slip shouldn't actually be wheel slip. I'm going to do something we shouldn't be able to do on there. Put it in the 4 wheels. Drive. I'm counting as just locking the tracks together. Give it a bit more. Now we're making it. And we can actually start going up through the gears. I think we might just have done it. No, not quite. Go through the gearbox. And no, I'm not using the clutch. I've got an auto clutch on here. Apart from the fact that the farming sim hasn't properly incorporated clutch pedals, and I haven't got a spare button to use as a button clutch. Not that I can reach easily. I'm now down to multiples of 2 or 3 buttons per press, and no, I don't want to make myself a button box, thank you very much. I have enough trouble remembering what button does what now. Right, as we come in now to tip this lot out, Merman is going just to say cheerio for now. Cheerio.